morning, everyone, and welcome to CSL Leesburg. So our theme for 2025 is Rising Higher, Growing Deeper. And for today and one last time, our theme for the month of March is the flow of coming and going. The title of our talk today is Blossoming in the Swing. Doesn't that sound beautiful and perfect for spring? And our message will be given today by our wonderful Reverend Charlene. We are so glad that you took some time out of your day to join us. If you have any prayer concerns or celebrations that you would like us to include later, after our service, when Charlene will do our spiritual mind treatment, which is a form of affirmative prayer. If you have a prayer concern or celebration, just let us know. Put it in the chat and we'll be sure to include that. All right, that's all I have to say to welcome you. Let's kick things off with our official video. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is. And also reading a little bit in the journal, it says the personal practical application of today's message is, in the midst of life's uncertainty, choose to let your light shine by showing up authentically. And I thought about the yes but meditation. And for those of you who are curious, this comes from 7,000 Ways to Listen. And it's by the wonderful Mark Nepo. And like I said, this is the yes but meditation. So let's begin with a few deep breaths and sit back, relax. Let go of any tension that you might feel anywhere in your body, your neck, your shoulders, your back, the typical places where we tend to carry tension. And just take a deep breath in. Hold. And release. And again, inhale. Hold. And release. Now, the next time that I guide you through the inhale, I want you to close your hands, make a fist, and then when you exhale, open your hands. So we're kind of imitating the rhythm of our breath, the rhythm of the ocean with the waves, the rhythm of life. So remember, as you inhale, bring your hand to a fist, close it up, hold it, and then as you exhale, release. Let's do that 2 times before we go into our meditation officially. Here we go. Inhale, hold, release. No difference. Inhale, hold, and release. There's something about adding that hand movement to your breath as you go into meditation that I think adds a little something to it. So, the yes but meditation. So you can close your eyes if this will help you. You can keep them open, whatever works best for you. And I'd like you to focus on something in your life that you're saying, yes, but we all have them. Yes, but something is calling you, but yet you're holding yourself back. There's a hesitation. There's a doubt. There's a fear. There's an uncertainty. Do you have it? I do. Now, we're going to do our breathing again. And as we exhale, 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 we're going to close our hands. And that's where the but comes in. And then as you inhale, you're going to open your hands and say yes. Yes. So think of that situation. Get it right there. Get it right there. Hold that space. Inhale. Hand is out straight. And close your fist as you exhale with but. But. Our hand is closed. We can't receive anything when our hand is closed. Now inhale, open your hand and say yes. Yes. And the exhale. What is making me close off? Inhale, yes, yes, yes. Oh, there it is, that doubt. And now, let's just focus on that inhale. We're not going to close our fists. We're going to keep it open. Open hand means we can receive. Let's just keep it open. So we're breathing in. Yes, yes, yes. I am ready to receive. I hold. I exhale. And as I exhale, no more buts. I'm just focusing on the yes. Yes, I am open to receive. Yes, I am open to living without limitations. Inhale again, keeping that hand open. And hold. I even like the idea of maybe putting up 2 hands. You're ready to receive. Yes. Yes. There is no fear. I've released it. There is no doubt. There is no hesitation. My life is filled with abundance. The power is within me. I am open and ready to receive. And I am unlimited. With that, slowly join us as we welcome a lovely video by Leah.
Boom, bap, doom, bap, doom, ba-doom, bap, ba-doom, bap, doom, bap, ba-doom, bap, doom, ba-doom, bap, ba-doom, bap. Good morning, bap, ba-doom, oh, you waking world, bap, ba-doom, bap. Good morning, bap, ba-doom, to your green soul, bap, ba-doom, bap. Good morning, bap, ba-doom, oh, you waking world, bap, ba-doom, bap. Good morning, bap, ba-doom, to your green soul, bap, ba-doom, bap, ba-doom.
How great is that? Ba-doom pop. Good morning and welcome. I'm so grateful that you all have shown up. And thank you, Tamara, for that meditation. I had forgotten about that one. So, welcome to the 5th. Yes, the 5th Sunday. It's already done, you guys. March is already over. But it's an interesting month because we were talking about the whole time the flow of coming and going. And so if it is a flow that does come and go, why do we become so clenched? I think about the fist that we just breathed through. Why do we clench so much? What is that about? Have you considered, what is that about? So I was thinking about that a lot because this talk was coming up, and as the universe likes to do, it tosses things in front of me right on time, right in my path. And lately what it has been doing, it's interesting how someone will have a thought and they'll share that thought and somehow it makes its way to you, and then everywhere you look, that thought sort of, it's everywhere. So the first thing I want to tell you about is there's a topic, a concept in today's notes from our home office. As you know, CSL Home Office gives us a lot of services. They are so supportive. And one of the things they do for ministers like myself, who probably don't have a whole lot of time to think up monthly themes and decide on where we can pull from Ernest Holmes, doing all that footwork makes the Sunday talk kind of like, oh no, I don't know what I'm going to come up with. But when the organization says, let's create a theme for the whole year, and in every center we'll give them an outline, they're free to choose to use all of it, half of it, none of it, go crazy, but at least what you don't have is a big old blank screen waiting for your first thoughts to be written down. There's nothing more intimidating to a writer or a speaker than a blank screen to start typing. So to that end, they created the global monthly themes. We've been doing this for 5 years now. And what's interesting about this month and this day's topic, blossoming and the swaying, the first thing they tell us to do is think about Dr. Ernest Holmes. Think about what he said. Now, to remind you, all month long, I've been giving analogies about nature, about how, like last week, we talked about that seed, that intuition, that inspiration. If you have a seed of an idea or a vision, plant it. But don't just plant it in any old soil. Figure out where's the best place for it. And nurture that soil. Create the conditions that cause the seed to just flourish. So today's talk is about blossoming. So as you can imagine, we're telling a story where last week we planted a seed, and this week we're saying, oh, look, it's blossoming, which takes us back to Ernest Holmes. Now, of course, he's the founder of Science of Mind teaching, and his whole teaching symbol is a symbol of a circle that's broken down into 3 pieces, where the top part is the idea that you had, the inspiration. The middle part is the soil where you're going to plant it, and the bottom part of that circle is the plant itself, the actual outcome of what it is that you created, because the whole circle is called the creative process. Okay, fine. So not everybody had foundations class, but that's what they teach you. Every thought you have is a seed. Which ones do you want? Plant those and nurture them. Which ones don't you want? Oh, those are weeds. Pull them out. And then we give you a bunch of affirmations and practices. Now, back to Ernest Holmes. Dr. Ernest Holmes thought of all of this stuff. And did you know that so I'll read first for you the quote that goes with today's talk. Then I'll let you know this thing that he always says. And he said it right before he died, but it's what he stands for. And then I'll tell you how full circle the universe said, do you remember this thing? Well, this is how it matches. Okay, so go on this journey with me. It's quite a ride. Starting with the first quote from Ernest Holmes. He says in Science of Mind, page 46. 468. He says, thus, you are already prepared to test the principle, this creative principle, by allowing this life to flow through what you are and what you do. Things happen because of an immutable law. And you need not energize the essence of being. Its power is already supreme. By holding a thought, you do not add an inch to reality, but you allow reality to manifest in what you do. We are not adding to the infinite. How could we do that? We're simply allowing the infinite to express through us in our lives. When we plant that seed, it's not like, oh, universe, here's something that's outside of you that you could have never thought of. Here's a seed that you never could have. No. We actually are pulling from that divine well of infinite seeds, of infinite flavor or genre or, okay, I don't have the genome hierarchy chart, but the point is, ain't nothing new. But it's new when we decide that there's something special about this idea. Oh, this thing I am here to do. And so we grab that idea. And I'm going to repeat, that idea may have come to you in a text, reading a passage, in a song, in someone's post. I don't know how it gets to you. Yes, it could come from sitting down and visioning. But how often do we put that off? As I speak to myself. Oh, I'll get to visioning just as soon as I write up a quick web app. Like, come on, Char. But it's still happening. As creative as the force is, all I have to do is be open to it. And then it kind of shines. All of a sudden, it shows up in my brain. And then I'll see an affirmation of that thing in real life. And then I'll go, whoa. So now we'll talk about Dr. Ernest Holmes, who said, all right, we're talking about flowering, seed, soil, plant. This is the creative process. You are not separate from the divine. The more you give energy to that which you really want, you're simply using the divine to bring into reality for you what it is you want. So, Ernest Holmes says, yes, we have to set our ego aside. Ego, edging God out. Someone said that's what it was. Ego meant that everything's what you did because you're trying to edge out the divine and actually does it through you. Yeah, ego is kind of the biggest blocker that there is. But when we set that aside and we say, hey, life, express yourself as me, then, yeah, we're going to have some back and forth. But we can we can handle it because we have a higher vision. We can face change. We can face change. And change is what we most resist at an ego level. Remember, I was saying, how come? If it's true that life is going to flow, if it's true that things come and go and everything changes. In fact, the only thing that doesn't change is the fact that things change. So if we know that, why are we so reluctant to change? We grab on to the way it used to be, and this, some of the Buddhists say, is the source of our suffering. Because we're holding so tight to what we think is, we don't want to let in something new because we don't know what that next thing is. We're more attached to our thoughts about how things are, even when those thoughts don't reflect how things really are. It's a very curious thing. So when you want to be entertained, sit down in meditation and watch what your mind tries to do. It's interesting. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, nice. Nice try. So we're taking our attention and focusing it. So what did Ernest Holmes say? He said on the, I think it was the, right, it was at the sermon. It's not Sermon on the Mount, but it's like that. Oh, it's called Sermon by the Sea. That's the last like real official Ernest Holmes sort of presentation or talk that he gave, because I guess he knew that his years were beginning to wane. He said, stay open at the top. Stay open. I think something about Ernest Holmes knew that with human beings, the way that we are, the way that we're shaped, we will sit at his feet and read his books. And when he passes away, we will be taking his word as if it's the last word. There are people who want to canonize the words. And you have to say them just like Ernest said it. And that's not his energy at all. Ernest Holmes didn't even want a religion made out of his teachings. He was like, no, just practice it. You don't have to have a religion about it. But then he watched his friends who had really good teachings, but because it wasn't an organized infrastructure, that the teachings died with them. He said, all right, I will allow it. Okay, create a board, create a council, create some books. Okay, fine. But as he said at the Sermon by the Sea, do not stop just because I stop. Keep growing, keep learning, make room for new ideas. Stay open at the top. Now, I've discussed this with you before. I've given you analogies about the biodome experiment that was a closed loop that wouldn't allow new nutrients in, and it was a big disaster. You got to exchange energy with your, come on, closed loops. So the idea that we should stay open at the top, well, you could take it to plants. Sure. So now I'm landing somewhere. I'm just going to take you slow as I take a sip. So there I was, walking the dog. As you know, all spirituality happens to me as I walk my dog. And I'm looking at the beautiful bushes as springtime. Things are just kind of bursting forth, aren't they? And I'm looking at the bushes, and I watch how the beautifully cut, the beautifully nurtured hedges are now sprouting new little leaves of life. So it might be 2 days since they did that beautiful sculpture, and then some little shoot is like, let's grow higher. That's what we do, isn't it? Don't we grow higher when we have a great idea, when we have a feeling something should be done, something new? We're always doing a little bit of something new. And as I'm looking at the plants, it must be obvious to those of you who are like, yeah, Shar, we've all been outside this whole time and you've just joined us outside. We know that the shoots grow up and new things go up. As anyone who read Jack and the Beanstalk will tell you, it grows up from a foundation. So the question is not, do we grow? Yes. And what inspires us to grow? Well, a plant just needs the right conditions, doesn't it? It just needs to be planted in soil with the right nutrients. I guess a little photosynthesis has to happen, so there's some sun and there's some oxygen or carbon dioxide. And then, but the thing is, as I think about it, of course nature knows how to grow by taking, if you think about your physicality as a human, if we are the plant, isn't it true that when we get ideas, we think, oh, out of the blue. We look up. We're always looking up and out because that is where we grow. That's kind of the symbology of how we grow. Growing up, growing out. And it's just a thing that happens when we unfold. That's another word that plants do. They kind of unfold, don't they? And then I think about humans. I'm like, yeah, but we're not plants. So now what? And then I run across this other paragraph in the outline. And I wish I were kidding. I mean, it's not a joke, but literally, I look at this and it goes, so here's an example. It says here, okay, an example of staying open at the top and remaining a work in progress the whole time as a human being. The example is of the Sagrada Familia Expiatory Temple in Barcelona. Now, all those words, I don't know what those words are. But it goes, in Barcelona. I'm like, I was just in Barcelona. And Renee and I, we were just in Barcelona. What now? It says, the short story of the temple is that it's a church that's not finished. I was like, oh, that church that we visited? And so, of course, I text my friend Joey, did we visit the Sagrada Familia Expiatory Temple in Barcelona? He's like, yeah, we didn't go inside though. I'm like, that's the temple? So why is that temple important? And I took some pictures and I need you to understand how cool this is. So if I could get my system to cooperate, because this morning it was kind of fussing at me just a little bit. But I will show you some of the pictures we took there. And then I'm going to tell you what that has to do with a human being. It'll all just make so much sense. And the idea around all of this, as I move to this area, the whole idea about it is just that we were meant for so much more. And a lot of times we don't give ourselves credit. Let me share my screen. So here, this first picture is it's a close-up kind of this church. Now, what's amazing is not only, just excuse my dog, she's thirsty. What's amazing is it's a huge church. Later I'll show you a backup of it, but it's a freaking huge church. And every single brick, every single sculpture, if you took it and pinched it, of course, let me see if I can, you're gonna see, look at what's going on. As I zoom in on this picture, do you see all the intricate details that's going on just in this one little piece? This church is constantly undergoing renovation. It's never done because the actual sculptor, the people who are in charge of it, purposely build in time and phases, so it's always being upgraded. So as you could see, look on this area over here where they've got some scaffolding and they're making sure that the bricks don't fall on the people. Let's go to this next picture. I zoomed in on this piece. Again, we're at the very, in the up close and personal. Look, that looks like a little palm frond or something. And each thing has a symbolism. Each thing that you look at on this huge, I'll let you know the scope of it in 1 second. That's the scope of it. This is how big it is. It is always undergoing renovations. And it's kind of insane. So wait, so what does that have to do with this? Well, I'm just saying, because they used that as an example, I had a personal vibration thing happening. I'm like, oh, I saw that. And the point, I guess, that I'm trying to make, too, is that it's still beautiful. It is beautiful as it is. It's gorgeous as it is. And there are parts of it that are still being, Renee said 140 years after it was stood up, it's still being worked on. Hundreds of years, my friends. We're never done. You and I are never done. Yes, this whole building, it's there. People go inside, and parts of it are still under construction. Now, when you think about your spiritual journey, could it be the reason why you're so unwilling to let go of everything you've known so far? It's because you don't know what's coming, and how do you know it's going to be good? What if it's not good? And then what kind of... you'd rather not have something new because it means it might not be good. Now, sometimes the way to get something new is by a full force fire of destruction of the old thing, which is kind of sad because, forest fires, there's a lot of destruction there, isn't there? But even out of a forest fire, you have life that could no other way have become present. They call them fire seeds. The only kind of life that can burst forth is if that seed experiences a heat of a certain temperature, which is typically a forest fire, and only then can the seed become a thing. It needs the fire. So if we're all supposed to be open at the top, not only the teaching of science of mind, which is open at the top, which is why I get to speak about different things, why we get to include quantum physics once they figure out how that works. We can still equate it back to our teaching. The reason we get to be so current, not only does it attract those of us who think deductively, we reason, we use science to negate or confirm our preconceptions. We don't jump to faith the minute there's not an agreement. The reason that that's all true, and the reason that we're here in this teaching instead of the other ones that are pretty closed, is because we know that we're all works of art that are under construction. When we encounter one another in this community, we don't say, well, you're a total trash because of that one piece you're still working on. Nobody says that to each other. We just sort of giggle. There's no expectation of perfection. We sort of giggle and we get over it. If we were to become as punitive as sometimes we are to ourselves, then it would be a horrible community to be in. So maybe it is the last frontier that we can start to embrace, that last frontier that is the self. I am this temple similar to Barcelona. I am mostly gorgeous, but yeah, there's the parts I'm working on. But I'm absolutely stunning inside and out. They both can be true. And there's no reason to wait for your good. When you finally earn yourself being good enough, then you can have the relationship you want. That's all the yes but that Tamara was talking about. We don't have to be anything except aware of our true nature, and the universe takes it from there. You don't have to do anything. You just show up. And then adding some gratitude will make it come faster. It'll make that thing generate faster. So that's what's really cool about life. And the second, very, very weirdly on time, even though it's a year late, I'll give you this, it's on time anyway. That trip I took with Renee, it was called the God is a Black Woman tour. And it's funny because it's like, what? God is a what now? And it was a great tour. And we looked at different statues of the Madonna and how different representations of femininity are embraced around the world, and why the ones that were made out of black wood are not black because they were made of black wood. They're made of black wood because they represent the Black Madonna, the one that is just willing to get in there, deal with the shadow side, and make you better for it. That's the one that you go to that's not afraid of anything. This is that that powerhouse that we know is divinity, but yet we go to these churches and they're like God and He and Father, and you're like, are you missing something? But by doing this tour with the Black Madonna and the feminine deity, and just knowing that, if anything, the whole creative process, if you pick up what I'm putting down, the whole creative process itself happens in a womb. I'm just saying. So sometimes that soil where the seed is, it's dark in there, but that's where all the magic happens. That's where all the magic happens. And even in space, as you look out into the cosmos, if that's our birthplace as a planet, then that's the womb of God. And listen, I guess you get it. It's a womb, which means there was definitely feminine energy involved. And I'm not saying it was just feminine energy, because we need to mix feminine with masculine on an equal basis. Hello. Equal amounts of each in every single person. That's the goal, to make us whole, make us embrace our feminine and our masculine. So what I'm trying to get to is that twice in a row I've heard someone reference this video. And as this is the end of International Women's Month, this video that talks about God is a woman, I'm sure that God is a woman, it was sent to me in 2 different ways, and it's pretty good. I won't play it because we're already out of time. But if you've heard of this video, it's called so there, yeah. I will have to put it in the chat, and I'll put it in the show notes for those of you who are online in any other way than this way. But it's very, very, very good. It features a lot of African scenery and beautiful drumming and just gorgeous people singing about the divine as a feminine being. And so it's not just feminine, but sometimes if we've given so much attention to the masculine side, it's okay to err a little more toward the feminine side so that one can get oneself back to the blending of masculine and feminine energy, which is what we all are. So I hope that all of these full circle moments, I know that they were there for me, and I'm sure this happens in your life too, and I would love to hear about how the divine gives you many different angles and points of view on a particular topic. And then even if you have to reach back a year or 2, you'll be like, oh, I get what you're saying. But we all just have to be quiet, just have to listen, because life is teaching us exactly where we need to go next. So let's go there together as this beautiful, wonderful spiritual community. Let's get into it. Let's see if. All right. Okay. I don't have any requests for prayer, but I do know there's several natural events happening in Myanmar, Thailand. Yeah. So we'll get into it in our prayers as well. Let's go within and just take a nice breath. With gratitude, we move into this prayer, knowing that there is something, an energy, something palpable happening right now. Something that is not caught up in our day-to-day experience. Something that is beyond the news. Something that is beyond the existing reality with a lowercase r. That there is something more than this, and that is the divine, masculine, feminine, mother, father, God energy that is permeating our entire existence. This is the energy that moves through us, moves through the animal kingdom, moves through the plant kingdom, moves through every grain of sand and rice. It moves through and as itself, always just rekindling its experience as us. So we are emanations, or I would say sort of announcements of what the divine is doing as us. We allow the divine to move through our very center. We just give way. We let the ego go away and we let the divine speak to us. And then we just follow our intention, follow our instinct, follow those little golden breadcrumbs that when you connect them together, it's always coming back to ourselves with a higher vision of who we really are, not who we thought we were, who we really are. We're okay. We are enough. We are absolutely fabulous right now. Right now. And so with this awareness of our wholeness, we know that this is not limited to just us, that every being is divine, is held in the arms of Father, Mother, God. And in this awareness, I also want to bring special attention to those who were impacted by that huge earthquake and all of the ramifications after that. Anyone that's in an area where there's war, violence, anywhere where they're not personally safe, that we just hold those human experiences in our hearts. And we pray that there's something bigger revealing itself. We know it's already there. It's now revealing itself. It's emerging and helping and making even those moments of despair just better. And so knowing that we are led to do what we are led to do, we're listening, each of us, to our own inner guidance to participate however we need to in what I call spiritual activism. I know that we're all well. We're all divinely held, even now. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful. So in gratitude and thankfulness, I simply let it be. I release this seed into the soil of the law, just knowing that it is already germinating. It's already becoming so. I let it go. I let it be. And so it is. Ashe.
Boom.
Okay, I shall share my screen.
Hello, CSL Leesburg. I know Reverend Shar just dropped some magic on you. And so now I want to invite you to embody this song with me. We'll start with the rhythm. Boom, 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 boom. I am beautiful today. I am beautiful in ways no one else needs to see. I know. You sing that with me? I am beautiful today. I am beautiful in ways no one else needs to see. I know. I am magical today. I am magical in ways no one else needs to see. I know. I'm a miracle today. I am a miracle in ways no one else needs to see. I know I am.
All right, how does she do that? That is just such an amazing song. I hope you enjoyed that too.
Hello.
And I hope that just carries you through this week Thank you also, Reverend Charlene. And I love how you added the pictures of that cathedral, that you and Renee were actually there and could share and add in your personal experience. Absolutely amazing. All right, folks, now is the time that we talk about our donations, the donations that you give to our center. Bless everyone, those who give and those to receive, and we keep it flowing. We give to our home organization as well as other organizations that share our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. As you can see, there's so many ways that you can give, and odds are if you're a regular attendee, you've already found a way that works for you, but we love to give you that reminder. We can do what we do on Sundays because of your generosity. No matter how you are giving, please take that, place that over your heart. Maybe it's physically, maybe it's just virtually, maybe it's just, in your imagination. You know what you're doing. And join me in saying the blessing of our gifts. The presence of Spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. Kind of echoes what Leah just sang to us, right? I am beautiful. I am a miracle. I am. All right, it's time for announcements. So, folks, how amazing. You can follow us on Spotify. Go to the Spiritual Tune-Up. If you miss a Sunday, or if you want to hear the message again, or you want to hear the music again, go and join us on Spotify. How exciting. And Dream Study. Dream Study is on alternating Saturdays at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And the next meeting will be next Saturday on April 5th. So if you'd like to join Charlene and her friends, exploring your dreams, maybe getting some help interpreting your dreams, hearing how others interpret their dreams, join them at Dream Study next Saturday. All right, folks, now we say our closing affirmation, but just a little reminder, if you can, stay with us after our service. We hang out and we share our pearls. What was in today's message or meditation or music that really resonated you, or what's something that you'd like to hear some more about, or you have a few questions? We hang out with each other. We do our little coffee hour virtually. And sometimes we learn about great movies or great books. We just kind of hang out and chat. It's always fun to do this. If you can't join us, we send you off with our blessings and with our love. So let's do our closing affirmation. Here we go. Please unmute. You know how I love to hear your voices. Here we go. You ready? I am love.
I am love.
I am love.
Love that. Love that. All right. Now think of somebody who needs this message. It could be somebody in the room with you. It could be a furry friend. It could be a family member. It could be somebody who isn't in the room with you, isn't close to you, but we know that we can send this out. Everything is all connected. So get someone in mind. Send out that message. You are love.
You are love.
You are love.
Wonderful. And now join me when we put our hands up in the air and remind ourselves it's all love. Here we go. You ready? It's all
love.
love.
It's all love.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, folks, like I said, if you have to get going, you have things on your to-do list, we send you off with our love and blessings. We'll see you next Sunday. But if you can, hang out with us a little bit. Let's chat. See you next Sunday.
Well done. We are stopped.